So during the summer, my best friend, Adam, and his family allowed me to crash at their place. They had a stable household, especially compared to mine. My father had left years ago, and my mom lived with a dude I couldn't stand to be around, so I was very grateful for Adam and his family. Over the years, they had kinda become like a second family. Adam was 1 year older than me, and he had a younger sister named Riley. She was 18 years old, and set to turn 19 later in the fall. She was going to a community college and working at a clothing store in town. Meanwhile, Adam was a manager at a roofing company his father owned, so they were out of town a lot. They would travel to areas that were hit by severe storms. So during this particular summer, a lot of the time it was just me, Adam's mom and Riley. I was working as a waiter at a restaurant, so I wasn't home a lot either. I took on every extra shift I could to build up my savings. A lot of times, I'd work doubles, and just fall asleep on the couch the moment I got off work. Adam told me I could sleep in his bed when he was out of town, but honestly the couch was more comfortable, and it was too hot in his room. During one morning, I remember waking up briefly to the sound of someone in the kitchen, which was connected to the living room. It was an open design. Super fancy shit. Apparently, roofing pays good money. I opened one eye to see Riley standing at the breakfast bar, eating a bowl of cereal. She was dressed for work. Riley was around 5 feet 3 inches. She had dirty blonde hair and a fairly average body. I had honestly never had a sexual thought about her. She wasn't ugly. She just wasn't what you'd describe as hot. She was more nerdy. She had pimples on her face, glasses, and her hair was long and completely straight. This is not me trying to be insulting. I'm no Brad Pitt. I'm just being honest with the description. Anyway, she looked back at me and then quickly looked away. She did this like 2 or 3 times. I don't think she could see that my eye was open. I was still half asleep, so I didn't think much of it, but when I fully woke up an hour later, I noticed a very obvious bulge in my sweatpants. My morning wood was strong. I rubbed the sleep from eyes and wondered, was she looking at my bulge? And that's the very moment I had my first sexual thought about Riley. I was a horny 21-year-old dude after all. It did not take much to turn me on. I once saw a hot mom looking at a banana at the grocery store and got hard. The day went on and I honestly forgot about it, but the next morning, I woke up to the same sound of Riley eating at the counter. I caught her looking again. This time, I shifted a little, to give her a better view. I just barely opened my left eye, and sure enough, she was staring directly at the outline of my cock. She was not even trying to hide it at this point. She stared at it like a dad would stare at the morning newspaper over a hot cup of coffee. I can't explain it, but this turned me on so fucking much. I thought about it all day, and the next night, I decided to sleep without boxer briefs under my sweatpants. The outline of my cock was super visible. The only problem is that I couldn't sleep, lol. It felt like I was waiting for Santa to come down the stairs or some shit. I looked over at the clock on the wall and saw it was almost 8 in the morning. She had class at her college at 10, so I figured she'd be up soon. My morning wood wasn't happening by itself, so I had to make it happen manually. I slid my hand under my pants and started to gently stroke my cock. It hardened quickly against my palm. I stroked it off and on for several minutes until I heard Riley's bedroom door open. Moments later, she was out in the kitchen and I was pretending to be asleep.